So, hello everyone. I wanted to talk today. We have to or not, but sometimes we just like, let's say we want to build businesses, right? Like we want freedom from the matrix. We all want that, and it's totally understandable. That's totally human, because we don't want to owe our time to no one. We don't want to wake up and go to that same job every single day because, well, that's such a miserable life. And a way that we try to escape this is we try to build businesses, or we try to find multiple streams of income, some other type of form of living. That's totally fair. That's totally like normal. That's something that absolutely understandable. Also, once you let's say start working on something else, let's say you're trying to build a new business, and you start like spending that time off your work, starting to build a business, because that's what the business people tell you. Let's say if you're watching business YouTube, you will see people tell you that you need to spend all that time that you have just on your business, on that business that you're trying to build. And I think that advice is fair. Like, it's gonna work for you. But the thing that happens is that once you start living this way, you will soon realize that your life just loses meaning, bro. And it's like you wake up, you do all these things, and maybe the results are not coming through as well, because it's like when you start seeing results, it's motivating. It's like if you do something, you see results, you're like, oh, okay, that's amazing. Then you feel more, there's more, you're like, do something, results come back, and then you feel like, oh, okay, there is a meaning to what I do. This works. You keep on going. But a lot of times when it happens that the results are not coming through. And so the thing is that what we forget sometimes, especially when we're trying to escape the matrix, right, is that there is a meaning, there is a purpose in this life. And I could take an example of mine, like my music. I could just be releasing songs, and that could be a way to go about it. But like, what's the point of my songs if they don't have meaning? I just kind of like realized that, like, whoa, bro, like we actually, like, none of this makes any sense, and it will never make sense if we just do, and but there's nothing behind it. Like, it's just useless. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And we can have these systems that we follow, these routines that we follow, but at the end of the day, like, you're not gonna find fulfillment if you don't have an inner reason as to why you're doing it, and if you don't find a purpose, if you don't instill purpose into it, because you gotta instill it. It's not like it's just gonna come out of nowhere. Purpose comes from within. And purpose, I feel like purpose, like this sense of fulfillment, only comes when we are helping other people, when we are looking beyond the matrix, when we're looking beyond the standard. Because also, again, like how, let's say, businesses become successful is that there is like a very specific structural thing that is going on for a long time. So they call it consistency. But a lot of times, especially if like you're doing social media, you're gonna like trying to build some sort of image, and that image, it's gonna be the thing that's gonna suck the light out of you, because it's not gonna be authentic. It's not gonna be real, So it's also very interesting. Like, for instance, I could give you an example. If there would be a woman who, let's say, does videos and she always wears makeup, and she gets a very successful following because of it, and she just has so many followers now because of that. But now she has to keep it up. But also another thing is that not only does she have to keep it up, she also starts to feeling fake. She starts to feeling vague, like there's no meaning into it, because there really isn't. It's very shallow. And the way to balance the situation out is actually very interesting. Is how you balance things out is what you seek the other opposite of that extreme. So for instance, if this woman has been, let's say, constantly wearing makeup, like that was just kind of her rule for her videos, that she's always wearing makeup. For her to make a video where she does not wear makeup, that would be like the opposite extreme. It's like going how do you balance your life out is you gotta understand the extreme that you are in. So once you understand it, then you can do the opposite of it, go to the other side of the extreme, and that's how you end up in the middle. Now the interesting thing is also that also I feel like can be bypassed, overlooked, is that let's say some people that are very spiritual, they can start also building a particular ego, and that's like, let's say I will never wear makeup. Makeup is bad, and let's say there would be people that just like never wear makeup. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with never wearing makeup. Of course, there's nothing wrong, absolutely. And but that can also become something that sucks the light out of you, because you're not allowing for yourself to play. You're kind of just like becoming very serious. And so, the solution for that person would be to go to the other extreme and go and try some makeup. Like maybe just do some color, something, maybe not necessarily, just like doing this like full glam, all of that. But it could be more something like playful, like reconnecting with your inner child. Because like when we become very spiritual, sometimes we just become very serious, but it's another kind of ego. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I feel like our lives are never gonna have meaning if we don't allow for ourselves to actually just instill it. If you don't if you don't do things with a purpose or for the purpose, you're not gonna have a feeling of purpose come to you, a feeling of fulfillment. Yeah, because we can build all these systems, we can build all these businesses, but it's like, if there is no me in that business, if I have to keep up an image that does not even exist in there, like if I have to pretend that I'm someone I'm not, then what is this for? Like, where's the meaning? It's not there, it doesn't exist. Authenticity, love, and like all of that, that's what you want to instill into everything that you do. And so anytime when you feel stuck in your life, is because you actually have gone to some sort of extreme side of the spectrum, and you're no longer kind of in the middle. And it's like, when you are in the middle, you're in the present moment, and you're just like in a feeling of fulfillment and purpose. When we start to form ego, that's when we kind of move from the middle. That's when we then become feeling like we need a validation from the outside. We might want to check someone else's social media or something like that. Feel like we need to know what's going on in other people's lives to that extent, because we're not allowing for ourselves to be centered. We're not allowing for ourselves to just like be ourselves. And I feel like it's so cool to just like sometimes intentionally do something that that, let's say, there's something that society doesn't like, that society rejects, and just like intentionally doing that thing, because it really just like humbles you. And not only humbles, but like it does humble, but also just kind of it balances out the situation. It balances out, it removes the fear. Authenticity, it removes fear. It's the opposite of fear.